All right, so we're here at the north end of the Causeway here in Nipigon. So you can see the railway grade stretching back to the north in front of us and the Causeway here in front of us. Now this bridge, this structure that you see here is actually not an original structure. This actually was built after the railway line was, after the rails were pulled up. In 2005. I want to say this was built sometime after 2014, I'm not sure. And actually this structure kind of ties in with what we're looking at in front of us. So to give you a little background to all of this, so Canadian Northern Railway, as I mentioned in the previous segment, did not want to build through this area. And so they tried to get a running rights agreement with Canadian Pacific Railway, and they were not able to secure that, and so they had to build. And one of the biggest challenges they had was building the section between Red Rock and here in Nipigon. And you're going to see that in the episode that we do around Red Rock and some of the challenges they had here in that area. And then here they basically had to try to find a line through this area without crossing the Canadian Pacific line. So basically the lines paralleled each other coming north from Red Rock, and then they split, and the Canadian Pacific line kind of runs up there. Just you can kind of see the town proper of Nipigon over there, and kind of loops around, and then we saw the bridge crossing the Nipigon River over here. So the Canadian Northern did not want to cross, so they had to kind of find a way through that. And so what they did was they decided to cross part of the Nipigon River here. And so what they did was they actually changed the course of the river. So what we're standing on right here was actually the original bridge, and you can see train crossing the Canadian Pacific Bridge right now over there in the background. So this one has been the original swing of the river. So the river, and you're going to see as I do this, I'm going to show up a couple maps here. So you're going to see the river originally sort of swung this way, swung to the west, and then kind of came around and then continued heading south. So what Canadian Northern did is they actually dug a channel. So that area right there where the river flows right now, it actually used to be attached to this. A little loud there from the Canadian Pacific. So this piece of land here, part of this causeway, actually used to be attached to the east bank, east shore over there. And so they dug this. They keep interrupting me here. You can see the train waking everybody up in Nipigon. So they dug this channel through, and then basically built this causeway across. So again, this was the original swing, and so what it did was it created this body of water here called the lagoon. And again, you'll see that on the maps. And so we'll continue heading south here. So again, this was originally part of the east bank of the Nipigon River, and again, that was the original swing of the river over there. And again, you can see the new channel over there that was dug. You can imagine it would be probably pretty noisy here at times with two railway lines kind of running through the area. And so right about here, it's kind of private property, so I can't go in there and venture, but right about here, you'll see this. If you click on the link in the description and you go to visit my page on Nipigon, you'll actually see there was a spur that came off of here right about here and kind of ran that way. And I'm not sure the purpose of the spur, if it was done during the time of construction. You can kind of see this little bit of a ridge here, and I don't know if that's what's left of the original kind of grade of that spur. It kind of ran down this way and then kind of paralleled the sort of the south shore here. And again, if you click on that link in the description, you'll be able to see some photographs of that spur. And so here is actually the causeway proper. So this was all rock fill that was dumped in, and again, changing the flow of the river. And so here again, you can see part of the lagoon. And this was the one bridge. So again, the bridge that we just saw a little bit to the north there was put in after the railway was discontinued. And this was the original bridge that was here. And you can see there's a big sinkhole that's just opened up here. All the signage and everything is gone. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause here and we're going to jump down and we're going to take a little bit closer look at this structure. Okay, so we're down here below the level of the grade. We're on the east side of the causeway. You can see the Nipigon River here in front of us. The marina is just over there. So we're just below this this small little bridge here that is on the southern end of the causeway. So at the time, this was the only kind of way for the water to circulate in and out of the lagoon. You can see the bridge itself is just a small timber and pile trestle. You can see that it is starting to show its age a little bit. Hopefully I don't fall in the river here. So you can see that some of the timbers have suffered some damage. You can see some of them are starting to rot a little bit. On that center bent there, you can actually see the pile on this side has actually either been hit by something or it's been impacted by the ice, and it's kind of been driven inwards, and so that is certainly some damage to it. Here you can actually see some of the remains of things. So down here there is a tie plate, and there it looks like there's one fish plate for sure in the water there. Looks like there's another one here. So we're going to make our way back up to the level of the grade and continue working our way to the south. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue heading our way south. You can see a little bit better view of the lagoon here, and you can see a little bit more of the town of Nipigon up here, up on the hill. And so as we push our way south here, you can see that we're going to be crossing under a overpass here. You can see a little bit of the marina here and more of the Nipigon River. Again, still a little bit of ice. It's the middle of April, so it's remarkable that we're out here to begin with. So I'm sure this overpass here was a favorite spot of people for doing some train spotting, some rail fanning, as people would call it. Again, you can see kind of the growth that's coming in along the rail line here. Now, again, you can see sort of the residential area, and then I don't know if this is the box for the fiber for this area. It doesn't have any marker on it. We've talked about this on previous episodes. Some of the issues with this line not being maintained. So this spot here, obviously this was not done on purpose. So this was done by nature, and so I don't know when this happened. So this section here was washed out. Likely there was a culvert that was here, and it was washed out in a rainstorm. Again, I don't know exactly when this would have happened. I know the area, this region, was hit by a big rainstorm around about 2012, and it did cause a lot of damage around the area. So it could have well been taken out in 2012. If anybody lives in the area and is watching the video here, let me know when, if you know when this culvert in this area was washed out. So we're going to, I was here last fall, and there was way less water, obviously. So again, you can see the area that was kind of washed out. So we're heading a little bit further to the south here. And here we're about to get up to the area where the station in Nipigon was. And you're going to see some neat features here very, very shortly. So the first interesting feature, and I don't know if we're going to be able to see it very well, right here, I believe, is the former coal chute or coaling tower. Again, if you click on the link in the description, you'll actually see pictures of Nipigon back from the time that the railway was still running, and so you will see images of this. So try not to get the sun in there. And so you can see the structure here. So there's some concrete pads, some concrete footing down here. And so you can see the structure here. Obviously, if you didn't come in the fall or the spring, you would never be able to really fully see this and appreciate this. And so it was obviously a very, very large structure. And again, if you click on that link, you'll be able to actually see some photographs. Not close ones, unfortunately. I don't have a close photograph. But you can see it sort of from a distance of what it would have looked like. And so this is actually one of the few structures like this on this line that remain. There may be one up in Jellicoe, I don't know. I haven't been up in that area yet. But one of the reasons why this is here is because Nipigon was a very, very important point on the railway line. So on the original Dorion subdivision, it was the halfway point. It was halfway between Jellicoe, which was the divisional point to the east, and Port Arthur, which was the divisional point to the west. And so it did have a water tower, which we're going to take a look at shortly, and then the coaling facilities, and it did have a major siding and a major station. And we'll take a look at all of those things very shortly.